One day, Paul McCartney arrived at John Lennon's house in Weybridge with a strong melody and a chorus about buying a woman some golden rings. But he already knew the words were pretty weak, because the obvious rhyme was things, which left the song sounding like one more routine promise of jewelry and romance. And John and Paul normally finish their writing sessions with a usable song, but this time they became stuck enough to consider abandoning it. After taking a break, probably for tea, they returned and threw out the idea that had been blocking them. McCartney later remembered Drive My Car as about as close as the pair ever came to having a completely unproductive writing session. But eventually the breakthrough came. That's when they stopped writing another love song and invented a character instead. And their new heroine was an ambitious young woman who planned to become a movie star and was interviewing the male narrator for a job as her chauffeur. McCartney pictured her as a confident Los Angeles type, almost like a glamorous celebrity hiring a young man to wait on her. That reversed the usual setup of early Beatles songs. In this one, the woman controlled the conversation, offered the man employment, and only vaguely suggested that romance might be included. The story was fictional, with no known real woman behind it, but creating a character and a situation gave John and Paul somewhere to take the lyrics. The title also gave the song a joke hidden underneath the surface. McCartney explained that he was using Drive My Car as an old blues expression for sex, allowing the woman's offer to sound suggestive without becoming explicit. Lennon and McCartney then added the final twist. She does not actually own a car. She merely expects to get one eventually, and the man can become her driver when that happens. The narrator has therefore been offered a questionable job, possible romance, and an automobile that does not exist. Once that dark little punchline appeared, the rest of the song, including the childish beep beep refrain, came together pretty quickly. George Harrison supplied another major piece when the Beatles entered EMI Studios on October 13, 1965. He had been listening to Otis Redding's recording of Respect, and he suggested building Drive My Car around a very similar, heavy, tightly connected guitar and bass figure. Harrison played the low guitar line, and then McCartney doubled it on bass, giving the track a tougher soul sound than the group's earlier pop recordings had. They attempted 4 rhythm takes, but only the 4th was the completed version. McCartney later added the sharp lead guitar parts heard in the introduction, the solo, and the ending, while the group filled out the recording with piano, cowbell, and layered vocals. That session ran from 7 p.m. until 12:15 the next morning, making it the first Beatles recording session to finish after midnight. Eventually, late-night studio work would become normal for them, but Drive My Car arrived right at the beginning of that change, during only the second session for Rubber Soul. It eventually opened the British version of the album on December 3, 1965. Capitol Records left it off the American Rubber Soul version, but they used it to open Yesterday and Today in June of 1966 instead. So a song that nearly died over a lazy rhyme instead became an album opener built from a fictional starlet, an imaginary car, a sexual joke, and a George Harrison riff borrowed in spirit from Memphis Soul.